Hello friends and welcome back to Animal Crossing. I am Peachie Llama here on YouTube and today we are back on my island of Velaris. We're doing builds on Llama Land for the whole series of ACOTAR, Thorns, and Roses, but this is my island devoted to Velaris and the Night Court. I'm super excited to share the next build with you. We finished these beautiful mountains behind me at our last video for Velaris, and today we're working on the beginning of the town. So I will share with you my inspiration that I found on Instagram and everything else that kind of went into coming up with the idea of what Velaris, the town itself, might look like, and the City of Starlight. So this is definitely the first part of the town. This is not the full town. It's going to take me a long time to get through the full town. It took me long enough just to do this half. So bear with me, but we will get there, and I hope you guys get some inspiration just from these builds alone and get ideas for building cities and other towns that you want to create on your islands. So let's get started. Okay, so to get started, my main idea was to make some sort of perspective build of the city behind resident services. Some of the ideas I found I'll show here. The idea is to create this kind of look, but more towards the AI images I found of Velaris, which I'll also show here. And this again just kind of gives an idea of what I was kind of going for and what my vision was. And yes, I wanted to stop and enjoy the view a little bit of our beautiful mountains with the auroras. And so I was debating between the gray, light gray, silver kind of stonework with the blue storefront. Kind of testing it out because I felt like you could see more of the detail with those for the city. So I was debating between that and the red, and I ended up using all of them. I use different colors to section off different areas of the skyline pretty much to kind of show like this is a house and this is a house and this is a house. So that way it kind of feels like multiple townhouses and it's not just one giant castle looking thing. And I wanted stairs to go up to the next level because I want there to be a balcony that kind of goes along the back of the island where you can view those beautiful mountains that we worked on last time we were on Velaris building. And yeah, I tried these columns and just trying to get ideas, and I ended up not using any of these columns at all. It's just not what I was looking for. But here are some design codes I wanted to share with you guys. These were amazing because they are just like Able Sisters and the shop like stonework outside if you want to use it. I thought it might be nice because it's a darker look, so I looked at them, but I don't end up using them. I used some of the windows from this creator, and I definitely use some of these bricks throughout the entire island from this creator, and I use the main path is this path from this creator. And then yeah, I just kind of want to show off a bunch of creators that I found because there was so much and there was a lot of options. And while I was filming, I was on Discord with a bunch of my friends and pizza, and we were all going through like which row of combo did we like. We settled on we wanted the dark squares for the border of the pathway, and then it seemed like everyone was really liking the middle three of this area to work with. We didn't like the top or the bottom, so then I switched to this look to kind of get an idea if we like the first three, and we ended up on this brick look for the main path. And I'll end up using these snowy ones and some of the other ones later on in different builds, but this was going to be the main path, and I'll eventually upgrade to the actual path where you have the side pieces. And this is me trying to figure out what kind of wall structure we want to do, still keeping it dark with the street lamps, but I wanted to just see what could be done. This is the beginning of the canal I was dreaming of. I knew I wanted a canal. I always seem to do a canal when I do like more of a city vibe. Canals are like common, I guess, but I just had a vision for it. And then this is where I was deciding between the red and the silver brick, and I think it was great to use both because I really think it helps define the whole area. And I like to use the paths. If you don't use regular paths from Animal Crossing for anything for the main part of the island, I love to use them as reference points. So that's what all this is for. This shows like exactly where the player houses that I'm putting here will go, and this one will be where mine goes specifically, and then Cassian's was next to mine, and then we filled in the terraforming to put Azriel's right here. So all three are back to back. And this is just me kind of just trying out different levels of the walls, and as well as adding the storefronts to make the medieval walls look like they're lit up. And that just made my day. And that was just perfect, because at night, I think the more lights that you have, the better to really make it feel lively and feel like it's coming to life and it's festive. And I was going with this stone bridge at first, and I ended up building 2 of them, then getting rid of them. So that was a lot of bells lost, but it was so worth it when we changed the bridge later. So still, of course, trying things out, getting different variations of the levels for each of the building areas. I try to do like 4 to 6 tiles wide pretty much per house and per area. So yeah, I just really enjoyed this. This was such an experiment, and just trying to make something to make my vision come to fruition, if that makes sense. And seeing the examples that other people made, like I knew I want to do something similar, but a lot of those photos were wide photos, I think, of the whole neighborhood that they did, and I don't have a wide camera, you know, I don't have a modded switch to do that, so I really need to work with what I have. And I decided to move the tower here to the end, because it kind of just ends the city a little bit for me, like just ends that line really nicely to have the mountains in the back. So loving this so much. I really am thinking about changing some other stuff later, but so far so good. Coming back another day once my house is in place, changing up the look of the house so it kind of matches the red brick that I was using. And now we bring in Dear Cassian. I had so much fun collecting different things to create him, and giving him his little armor and bat wings, and I'm just obsessed. Cassian's my favorite in the series overall, so being able to create him was really fun for me. So he's my character's neighbor, and I add all of them. I put lines that everyone says in the book on the board, so you guys will have to go check that out. Whenever we do the dream address, I hope you guys will enjoy that. So here I am doing the second stone bridge, being a dummy and not realizing that there's such a better option, which I definitely get to. I wanted to have the water come down in front of my house so it actually gives the canal some source of water, and I just really love the way it looked. And this creator creates all those really beautiful banner designs, and I found this other creator that did this viney hanging one, and I thought they kind of looked like stars, so I ended up going with that. I also got wreaths in case they would work and be cute, but this hanging vines is what got me. To me, this is exactly the vibe I was going for Velaris, was just these vines alone. That has made it for me. That has made it come to life. Just those vines, which is so silly, but it's so true. So really loving how everything looks. I'm gonna definitely fill in the areas in front of the buildings eventually. I just really haven't gotten around to it. It's such a minor detail that I don't really care about right now, that my focus is getting like the bulk of all the buildings down, and then I'll go back and like see whether we want to make a restaurant or an art gallery. Still discording, streaming with friends, and Pizza deciding what fencing we like. And Pizza was leaning towards the right one that's more modern, and I decided I needed to go with the stone and iron fencing just because it kind of brings it back to more of a fanciful look to me. I don't know, it was too modern for me for the iron fence that was in black. So adding the party lights, that is the key to help making this lively and festive, and that's what's so exciting for me, is to kind of figure out how to put these party lights on different levels and really try to light up the skyline and the town. And of course, we create Azrael to bring him in. I still have to get him the right haircut, because that's also Reese's haircut right now. But I have a plan for Azrael's haircut. We just have to go to Harriet a bunch of times to get the one I want for him. So again, adding his little quote to the board and moving along quickly. I loved that this was the first day I put in the wooden Zen bridge and replacing the stone ones, and all of the villagers are here fishing in the canal, and I'm like, I need to build a bridge here, you know, you need to get out of the way. And this is kind of just getting an idea for the start of the front of resident services. I tried a bunch of different options and methods. Maybe you guys will find ones that you like better for yours. I end up settling on the hedges because I felt like it helps the benches be seen a little more. They were kind of hidden away with all the other dark backdrops behind it. So keeping some green in there, adding that second beautiful, stunning wood bridge. Love it so much. But that's pretty much the gist, but I want to show you the finished product. Alright, I am ready to share with you the final pieces of this first part of our town as we walk down from the balconies behind the city where the beautiful mountains are. We start with our first little entrance into the city. Again, this is still a work in progress. This is more just to get the vibes and the building set up. That was my whole point. I do hope to put some tables and market stalls and just different kind of things in these areas here, because this would be where people would be interacting, as well as kind of like, I guess, front patios for certain houses and townhouses in the area. And I want to make it more cozy and homey and lively. But this is our first start. I love the way the storefronts have the lit up windows, and I put a bunch of those behind our medieval walls to really create the light up look. And I think that's really helped bring this whole place to life, which I'm really excited about. But it was definitely a challenge to not make it look like a castle. I guess that's the key. It doesn't fully look like a castle to me, I think, because we spread out the colors as well as the kind of towers, the castle towers. The way I've used them, it kind of helps it seem less like a castle, because normally the castle vibe is having those on each corner, and these are more in the middle. And it kind of helps break it up and make it feel more like townhomes, which I love very much. So we're going to start popping down here real quick to our little gazebo entrance. Our goal on the left is to maybe have a park or more houses eventually, but that's a later project. Right now we're coming around to the front of resident services. Gotta love it. It's very simple, very easy. Just wanted something that had just definitely some dark colors, but also bring some greenery, because this is very city vibe and there isn't a lot of greenery around. So I wanted to include that in multiple ways. And we're gonna come around to the other side. I have more houses, and I included player houses in these builds to kind of add some character and give some pointy edges to some of these buildings to really kind of make it feel like it's a town, and it's a like levels of city and buildings, just so you feel like you're in a beautiful atmosphere surrounded by homes and shops and just lush happiness and coziness is what I was going for. Again, we're going to fill in those front areas here to the houses eventually, but for now I left them blank, so I'm not sure exactly what objects I want to use. And then we have the front part, the first bridge of our canal, which really has one of the best views on the second bridge. But this one is just as great. And again, this is my house actually that is at the front here, and I really love how everything kind of goes together. And I used the red brick castle items to kind of go off to make an extension of my current house to kind of help bridge all those gaps together. And the party lights really help make it feel lively and like it's a beautiful nightlife city. And we can come over here to the other side of the town area, and we have more townhouse like items. Change the colors a little bit to be more brown, because we went from like darks and reds to more of a lighter brown. And then we end the town side with this beautiful massive gray and blue townhouse, which I think is just stunning, and it's a great way to end the city. I just think it has a nice shape to kind of finalize it. Eventually we'll have more parks and such here, so you can really enjoy those builds back there. But again, it just really makes it feel like it's a building and it's part of a grand City of Starlight. So there's a lot more to come over here, but I definitely wanted to share what we're working on. Definitely gonna be more on this side eventually, but right now this is the canal that I love tremendously. I'm sure you guys have seen it enough times. I'll show you a billion views of this particular view. Is my favorite view on the island right now. It just really purely just everything I've ever wanted to create for this island, and also any island in general that was more of a town and lively vibe. This is my dream. This is my dream canal I've always wanted to make. I'm really proud of it. I think the banners on the street lamps really help bring it together. They just add this little bit of greenery that we don't always have, but the way it like hangs down kind of looks like starlight anyway. And just again, it kind of feels just that beautiful, almost European, cozy town vibes. I love it so much. Everything really comes together when you see all the lights. And at this time of day, you still have a bit of contrast with the sky because the sun is still setting. And this way you get the lights on as well as that contrast, and it's so beautiful. I know you guys are probably geeking out just as much as I am, but this is definitely my favorite part of the island. I don't know if any other build I make on this island is gonna beat it, but this is so cool, and I'm really excited to show and share this with you. We continue back down and we get to our third bridge, which honestly to me is just as pretty. You don't really get to see as much of the town behind it, but I kind of like that about it. You have 3 different areas where you're close to the town, maybe midway from the town, and then you have the one that is farthest from the town. And the one farthest from the town really kind of gives off the beautiful vibes with the lampposts and just the shape of everything. Super dynamic and beautiful, and I just love everything. And I feel like if you guys remember the pictures I've shared, I hope you guys get the vibe of those pictures in this build, because that's something I was really excited by, was that everything that I've done kind of reminds me of those AI images of what we imagine Velaris to look like. Like this is it come to life in Animal Crossing, and I'm just so blown away by it, and I'm so proud of it. Definitely one of my best builds to date, hands down. I know I am very excited about my other builds I'm doing on Llama Land with the spring core, and those have been some of the coolest work I feel like I've done in a while, but this for me is the crown jewel, 100%. I love it so much. My goal is to really make it feel more lively, because it feels a little dead right now, even though you know, it's lit up and beautiful, but my villagers aren't really moving around too much. And I hope at the Dream Address we'll have a bunch of the player characters walking around, which will hopefully help make it lively. But I'm going to try to add some other movement objects of some sort, I don't know what, and just other places to sit, because maybe that will draw some villagers over to this area to really just make it more like the shopping district and home neighborhoods that it's meant to be. But yes, that is it for today's video, guys. If you did enjoy it and are loving this series, whether it's at Velaris here in the night core or it's the building of the other cores on Llama Land, Give this video a big thumbs up and consider subscribing so you'll be notified the next time I post an ACNH in ACOTAR video. I'm just so excited to be playing with this theme because it's really bringing me into the game again. Trying to play this game a lot more and being active and proactive on YouTube again, and it's really giving me the inspiration to do it. So if you're struggling with playing AC, maybe find one of those other things that you're interested in and see if you can make a theme out of it. Bring another joy in your life into Animal Crossing, and maybe that can get you back into the game, even just for a little while. Thank you guys for sticking with me. I know it's a crazy roller coaster of time of me being able to post, and I know I've changed up my dates. I was posting on Tuesdays and now I'm kind of moving to Fridays because it's starting to work better for my schedule that way. So thank you for your patience and just for watching and appreciating everything we're doing here, and I hope you found some inspiration today. I love y'all so much. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Bye!